Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us once again. My name is Mo, the CEO and founder of the International School of Traders, and welcome to our Tuesday live trading session. I'm going to go through what the market is expected to do this coming, this actually the next couple of hours. We are looking at the London session, and that's what we mostly focus on. I'm going to look at a couple of things, but before that, we are going to go through some of the news items, what's really happening in the markets. Well, we've already seen a couple of news in the markets this afternoon or today. A couple of news coming from South Africa, from the speech from Britain, as well as some PPI from Switzerland as well. Right. What is expected today? The cost CPI and the CPI, the cost CPI year on year, the CPI month on month. Very important news that you're going to be looking at this afternoon. Coming from the US, right, at 2:30 South African time. That's going to be very, very key. We have to be on the loop today. I believe this is going to be the news that are going to be changing or continuing with the market direction. We're going to be looking at a couple of setups in the next couple of minutes, right? But I believe the news that you are seeing in front of you are the ones that are going to bring a little bit of an effect in what the market is doing today, right? Okay, cool. So, so that's the CPI today coming from the US. But, we do have the federal budget balance coming out at 8 p.m. I think that's one thing to look out for as well, coming from the US, right? Okay, cool. I believe what we can do now is look into a couple of trades, setups that we can potentially take this afternoon. We have not sent any official traders yet. Reason being, the market is busy or is moving towards our point of interest, where we want to see it. So we're not ready yet to take some trades, but we are going to be taking, some trades. So let me show you a couple of things here that we have. I'm going to show you this. So we're going to start off with the GBP USD. GBP USD on a 4-hour time frame, right? I believe we were discussing this with Walter yesterday, and we mentioned that the 61.8 is key, it's good, but also the 70.6 is one of the levels that you look out for. Please excuse me. The 78.6 is one of the beautiful levels to look out for, and potentially that is where I would love to take my sell setup in this kind of on this trade here. So I'll be looking to take a sell around this area and taking my profit, a little bit further down around $1.14 towards the British pound, and then just lowering my stop loss here around these zones over here. And to get 1:3 ratio, it is a good ratio in this particular case over here. Risk reward, very beautiful, right? Okay, cool. We do have other setups that I'm going to discuss as well, but I really want to go through EuroCAD. I believe this is one of the trades that we were looking at last week. We're looking to take a sell, but the market has denied some of those, some of our attempts. So I believe the most important, or one of the most biggest things that happened last week were the news that came out on, I think it was the interest rate decision coming from Canada. So they really affected our setup in this particular case over here. So looking at EuroCAD moving forward, I believe there's a couple of things that might happen or that might really happen, right? So looking at this EuroCAD, you wanna first establish that we do have potentially equal highs in this particular case here. You might wanna do that in this specific way. Sorry about that. You might want to drag your line, horizontal line in this specific way, or maybe just push it a little bit further and just call this equal highs, right? Cool. And also you would want to pick out this area as, just pick it out and say this is where the market was ranging, right? This is where we're having a little bit of a range in this market. Okay, a little bit of a range, and then market started escaping towards the downside, then coming back to this level. Is there any direction that you might have here? Potentially, yes. We can still use this as one of the zones or areas, and and try and see if we can sell, around the 61.8 and markets approach the 61.8 or the 78.6, or else, pushing this towards the downside once again to see if we can sell around the 61.8 or the 78.6 in this particular case, right? So that's the scenario at the moment on EuroCAD, but not confident with the trade. We're just looking at the direction, possible direction in this particular case over here. However, one thing that you can also look at, right? Look at in this particular situation over here is that the market, is approaching an area which we've already highlighted as an area of equal highs, right? So meaning that there is a great chance, there is a huge chance for market to protrude towards the top side just a little bit further, or even higher than this, and then coming back down to some certain levels in this particular case. So be mindful of this. It can happen. It can be a probability. There is a probability, right? Okay, cool. Looking at GBP JPY, a very beautiful trade we took last week, reached our target, a nice trade in this case, right? And I loved it. Okay, looking at Nasdaq US 100, very important chart here. I was doing some sort of an analysis before we started this week, and I saw that a lot of you are really much interested on Nasdaq and looking into Nasdaq, trading it. Some of you are really trading Nasdaq. So I was like, you know what? We can look into trading Nasdaq. We can look into some setups on Nasdaq so that, whenever you look into the trade, at least you have an idea of what we are looking at on this side, right? So let's move. Let's see. So continuing with Nasdaq, we can see that the market has formed some sort of a bearish situation in this particular case from last month, August, and we are seeing some sort of lower lows and lower highs. For me, in this particular case, we have to look into selling in this particular market. I will be looking to sell Nasdaq around these areas over here, and then look to take profit a little bit lower than these levels, maybe even lower than this, which is just the previous low. We'll see how things go. Nasdaq is a little bit risky, so please trade with caution and use proper risk management, right? So there is a couple of setups that I want to discuss. AGSD, nothing is yet. Euro GBP, very important setup that I want to talk about. A very beautiful trade that we can talk about, right? So Euro GBP, we saw markets pushing for the top side and retracing a little bit, right? Retracing a little bit to towards the 38.2 markets, and then pushed further to this area to these highs over here. Very, still fair. We can, for me in this particular case, there is a couple of levels that I'm still looking at, especially the 50% at 61.8. I'm still gonna hold my guns on this one so that whenever the markets push further towards the downside to sweep or to maybe touch on these levels, I can be in a very beautiful trade. So this is a very nice setup, even though it's not a perfect setup, right? Okay, cool. But we are looking at two levels, the 50% and 61.8. Very important things to look out for on this particular trade. And then on USD CAD, I do not have any specific direction here. Since the market is on the move, we will discuss more probably when we see opportunities in the future on this one. Euro USD has come to a level which I've been looking at for the last couple of hours, especially since yesterday, right? I discussed and shared this setup yesterday to say that we are looking to see markets coming further towards these areas and then changing direction towards the top side once again. But what we have seen is the market came down and changed direction around the 1.01071 area. This is not, it is a crucial area sort of, but a minor crucial area. I believe what we can see over the next couple of hours, maybe after the CPI news come out, we can see markets pushing further towards the downside. Once again, let's see how the CPI news affects the market today and see if there's any opportunity that we can take. But these are opportunities that I am discussing with you at this moment in time. And remember that on the CPI, right, this is consumer price index. What we are expecting is a little bit of a downfall. It is not good if we see, right, something like this, but we'll see and we'll look at numbers and discuss, and see what the actual numbers are, because the actual numbers are going to come out at 2:30 in just an hour, right? Just an hour coming in just an hour from here. So we do have a previous number on the month-on-month CPI, which is 0%. Expectation is 0.1%. It is a negative number in this particular case, and we're looking at the CPI year on year. The previous number is 8.5, and then the forecast is 8.1. We're expecting a little bit of decline. And then another one is the core CPI month on month for August, right? So this one is expected to remain the same at 0.3%, right? Cool. So these are very, very important. They are going to be probably moving the market this afternoon, right? So yeah, so thank you so much, guys, for coming through. But before I say shalom, there's a couple of events that we planned for the month of September, and they got shaken by the unforeseen or the circumstances that we faced, especially one of our members. He's on our support side. He was taking care of his mother over the last couple of weeks, and let me just say 2 months. And then he lost his mother, so we had to really quickly rush into that. However, we are still going to have our launch. I'm going to confirm the date before the end of this week. We're going to have our launch here in Richards Bay. We are going to have our Rosebank class anytime soon. We are going to be having our Durban events in October. Those ones are remaining unchanged, right? The Durban events are remaining unchanged, but the ones that are going to change is going to be our Richards Bay classes and our Richards Bay launch, and also Rosebank, Johannesburg classes, which are going to be, affected. We do have a couple of events which we're also going to do in and around the country. No, really appreciate you, Mr. Bongani. We do have other events, scheduled for different areas, right? We are going to keep you guys posted. Thank you so much for coming through. I am going to see you on the other side of the withdrawals. If you're seeing this on your YouTube, like and subscribe to this channel. Love you so much. Shalom.